All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this meeting called to order, 6:02 PM, Wednesday, December 4th. It's our December session of the Economic Development Commission. We'll go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody unmute yourself. I'm gonna take roll.
Roll call
Okay, Chair Lawson,
here.
Vice Chair Barron,
Virtually here.
Lisa Pry. Lisa,
I see her on her picture.
I see her. Jacqueline Hunt,
Present.
Mike Aciardi. Here. Amy Gibson Grote.
Here.
Sounds far away. David Amanor.
Virtually present.
There you go. Thank you very much, everybody. And your ex officio is Mayor Terry Linehan this evening. I'm present. Well, good.
Thank you for being present with us. All right, was there any public comments submitted ahead of time? Miss Lori?
There was not.
All right, we have with us a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Miss Cindy, thank you for being here this evening. Any public comment from you this evening?
No, just here for the survey.
All
You
right,
have to listen.
yeah. Excellent, we'll get into that here shortly. First, we'll take a quick run through November's meeting minutes. So we met on Wednesday, November 6th, last month. We discussed a few different items. We had the EPA Brownfield cleanup grant. Representative Carrie Racky was here. We gave a presentation on the Glencoe Opportunity Area. Some of the EPA grant opportunities that we could potentially apply for and leverage there. To help with some of the opportunity area cleanup effort. We also got into the survey, as we mentioned. Mostly to discuss when we want to roll that out, how we want to go about issuing that to the business members within the community. We had a reappointment for myself and Lisa to the EDC, which was recommended for appointment to City Council beginning January 1st, 2025.
And approved by council on Monday night.
And approved by council Monday night, all right. Excellent, thank you. And then last couple items, we talked about some potential city actions that we'll talk about this evening to promote local businesses. Things like marketing strategies. I know Amy had a couple items that she mentioned that we can dive into a little more this evening. Any other items from last month? If not, can entertain a motion here.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Excellent. All those in favor of approving November's meeting minutes, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. All right, we have unanimous approval of last month's meeting minutes. We can jump into December's meeting. I think it'll be somewhat of a light meeting. Continuing discussion of the online survey. Initially, and admittedly, initially my goal was to have the survey in like an online platform that we could review. I'm having issues with my actual account for the survey software that I want to use. So I'm trying to troubleshoot that, as well as with the holiday last week. It got away from me and I didn't want to rush it and just throw it together too quick, but we have our finalized survey items. And then once we have that, we'll then leverage Cindy here with getting you the kind of the structure of how we want to get that sent out. And then we'll really be cooking from there in terms of, trying to get some good responses back. I think we're hoping to issue it, correct me if I'm wrong, beginning of 25, just with the holidays, we didn't think we'd get much response, into late December here. Any, other questions or ideas on the survey as we kind of finalize that?
I have a question, since I wasn't here. So you guys came up with the questions basically, and the chamber's gonna send it out, or the chamber's gonna use?
We're gonna potentially use the chamber's, ability to issue the survey.
To the, to the members list and things like that, or?
Correct, and we
Okay.
also have, Lisa, supplied a list as well.
Okay,
Of contact information that I think she might have got from yourself.
the
Or
business
water,
license list,
the
maybe?
business license. list.
Okay,
And essentially we would be, sending it as the EDC. It wouldn't necessarily be in conjunction with the chamber.
okay,
The follow-up would be,
In the email, I would use the EDC header,
yeah,
but it'll come from the
the
chamber.
chamber,
So,
right?
I hope it doesn't confuse people, but.
I don't think anyone,
And we can add people on if they're not in the chamber.
as we
So,
go.
yeah,
Okay,
So, easy to do.
thank you for that clarification.
yes. So we'll kind of finalize that here as we go into the end of the year. Is there anything from a kind of city process? Ms. Lori or Ms. Mayor, that you would recommend we go through in terms of issuing that survey, or is that something we can partner with the chamber on and get some feedback and data on without worrying too much about stepping on toes communication wise or anything?
Don't have to worry about anything city hall wise. You
Okay.
guys do your thing, and
Okay,
if there's something that you end up wanting to be posted on the city website, then that's when I'll step in.
and thank you again, Cindy, for your help with that,
Yeah.
willingness to partner on it. Anything else either on the line or Catherine or Mike, do you guys have any survey specific items? Okay. So once that's kind of good to go, I'll send it over for a review and then we'll get it kind of input into the chambers system.
Do you have a comment, David? I see you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I wanted the chairman to finish talking. I wanted to ask, do we have like the draft, the draft survey to review like the questions? Not necessarily the software template you are talking about. If you have any draft version of the survey we want to send out, so we can skim through.
Yeah, I can either, so we reviewed it last month in terms of the specific questions and style of questions we want to utilize. If you want, I can maybe just hop on the Zoom call and do a quick screen share.
That would be good.
Okay. I'll
Oh,
do
if
that.
we did already, then that is fine. I thought one of the items today is to look at the current state of the survey and see if we have some inputs. If the software version is not ready, we can look at the questions. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll jump on quickly and we can just take a brief look before we officially publish anything. All right, so we looked at kind of our original questions here in column B. That was mostly the data we wanted to get. I'll blow it up, sorry. So we have our original questions, which was what we formulated based on the information we wanted to gather. And then in order to kind of quantify it in a way that we can look at it at different levels, we turned it into more of a rating scale. So we'll have every question essentially a 1 through 5, 1 strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree. How much each member business owner agrees or disagrees with the statements here. And then from there, we added a free text. For each question, we'll have a box where they can enter some free text fields of any specifics, or if they want to elaborate on a certain point. And then we also talked 7A through D are all demographic questions. So we looked at business size, the type of industry, the category, and then the actual tenure, how long they've been in business. So those will be, as I mentioned, demographics. So they'll be able to select, in some cases, it'll be a single selection, or for example, if it's a, if their business falls into a couple categories, we can open it up to as many selections as they would like here. And the idea with that is just to take a look at, you know, we're seeing a large population of, let's say, our women-owned businesses are struggling with this specific challenge, or, you know, we see that businesses over the size of X number of employees are requesting these additional resources, things like that, that we can kind of tie back to a lot of the demographic data. Does that all sound good? You want me to kind of stick on? Sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much. Looks good. Looks good to me. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So like I mentioned, I'll try to get this all pretty in a survey software, and then we'll keep plugging along. Yes.
I was going to suggest that after the meeting tonight, if I could get a copy of that. We
Okay.
have a board meeting on the 14th.
Okay.
Anyway, that week. And let me run it by the board and see if there's anything that they might want to add from the chamber's perspective.
Okay.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm just making a quick note here.
They all are good questions, but
Yeah, we definitely wanted to be cognizant of the time it would take to complete the survey too, so we're trying to find that balance as well. Okay, so I will send you that same exact copy if that works.
yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, anything else then, before we move on from the survey? I think it's pretty much at a place where we can keep moving forward with it. All right. Next item, I just wanted to talk through some of the idea generation we talked about last month. So Amy mentioned different ways we can get some of the business owners connected and kind of helping each other out. I was in a couple weeks ago and saw there already was, and Amy, if you don't mind elaborating a bit more on, you kind of have a program going with some of the other local businesses there within the mini corridor, in terms of if you you know, spend at one location, you can get discounts at another, things like that.
Yeah, it hasn't really taken off too well. But you know, with only being a few of us there, I mean, we're all on board and trying to help each other out. It's just coming up with something that really catches the attention, you know, of the community. I thought it would be a little bit more popular than it was, thinking, oh my gosh, let's, save some money. But I've only had, I think, 2 people come in since then. But I know Happy Play tagged us in a repost of that today saying, when you're here, make sure to ask for a receipt and pop over there and save $2 off 10 or more. So, I mean, we're all on board and we're all trying. But I'm the only one that actually has put it into action right now. I think we're all just trying to figure out a way to help each other. So,
Is that something where, on the cities or even through the EDCs? We've been talking a little bit about different kind of social media avenues we could, I guess, have a better presence in as an EDC. Like that would be a good example of how we could, repost or have our own publication of something like that to help. But in this scenario, is that something, the city's official account would be able to post and try to get the word out there in terms of some of the promos going on, things like that?
I think we could probably work on something. We do have a somewhat new communications person, Therese Lang, so we could route you or the subcommittee together on talking about that very thing. She used to be one of the main communications people at the Port of Vancouver, so she very much gets community input, promotion, communication, and community development stuff. So it's kind of she brings a nice balance of approach. So that would be a good conversation.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And let us not forget, Amy had mentioned via email, but today is No Way Wednesday. So head on down to
yes,
Cup of
it is. Go on down.
Yum.
Can I ask a question about the communications? Is that something where we wanna understand the modes she's developing and kind of how to have a cadence? Like, when does she put something, when is it an option to put something in the water bill versus it goes on the website versus, I don't know if there's another channel she's developing, and is there something that, this time it's promotional, next time it's a new business opening, that we actually try to get a cadence of messaging around in support of economic development?
Is there like a cadence, like a weekly comms that goes out, or a? Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
We're really just getting her stepping in and kind of figuring some things out. So she's really kind of been focusing on kind of key department service announcement issues. It's just a matter of as she kind of branches out with what we need to communicate. So
Okay.
Is that like, might we have her come here in Q1 and teach us about her role, and
she could zoom in or be here, or
does she live in the city?
she lives over near Beaverton.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah,
You said Therese.
Therese,
Therese.
Therese. Lang, Lang.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like that idea, Jack. And
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
first quarter, we can have her join, whether it's virtually or in person, and try to pick her brain, see how we can work together on some of that.
sounds good.
And then Amy, not to put you on the spot, did you have any other kind of ideas or ways you think this commission in particular could help with some of the small business woes?
Not beyond, I don't have any other ideas beyond just helping publicate, stuff. I know, when I read the most recent, I think it was the water bill that came that had like the mayor's corner and, the little pamphlet that comes out. I did notice there was a section from a business. I'm trying to think of what one it was. I don't know if it was Melly's or, but there was a little blurb in that spot. I think would be really helpful to the business community if there was a little section that, you know, could be rotating through the businesses and maybe some announcements that they'd like to make.
Yeah.
Can I interject?
Yes.
You know, we have the city app. And I know we were having conversations about the city app, at city council and notifications and that sort of thing. So I think there's some work and follow-up that staff is going to be looking at there. But I'm just wondering how EDC can also, in small businesses, you know, can get dialed into the app, you know, so that if they want to promote, they do some sort of promotional thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's on their calendar, you know, it's like we have the city, you
Yeah.
know, have it on the calendar and have notifications there. So it's just another resource to consider. And that might be something to talk to Therese about after, you know, in Q1, so.
Yeah.
It's the city's app. As a resource.
Yeah, I don't know how sophisticated or what have you the app can be, but even if there's kind of a rotating, if we do want to get more kind of promotions in there. If there's some type of option to have like a scannable QR code that you can take to a place of business that's running some type of promotion and things like that.
And how many other businesses in the community, you know, not just service business, but other businesses in the community are actually, you know, putting things out on social media, right? Like, for example, Jewett Cameron, right? And, you know, could there be a hashtag that everybody, that we encourage the business community to use? So like, for example, I mean, I've started this hashtag a couple of years ago, this is North Plains, right? And just like, and try to incorporate that in every post that I, as a mayor, have put out there. You know, so can the business community put something like that out there and have this hashtag, you know, North Plains business community, or, you know, name it whatever you want. And whenever small businesses and larger businesses post, encourage them to use that hashtag. So it just kind of promotes it even more and furthers that net out there in the community.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I think we're not real familiar with the app. Are you? I mean,
Andy almost exclusively managed that.
That's-
He got us signed up for it and it was a good move. It got us some nice new communication.
but there's definitely room to
Yeah.
build on it because
Absolutely.
none of us have done.
I mean, I will say. One thing with Teresa, she kind of gets her sea legs on some of this. When we got the app, there weren't many choices out there for a municipal app that kind of does push notifications but there actually are a number of apps out there now that specifically, you know, do that for cities of different sizes and have kind of a template, and you pop in, it coordinates with your city calendar and it'll, you know, it kind of automatically does things. So if like there's a big planning commission meeting, boom, you know. So the one we have now is all do it yourself. So there may be better options at this point, but either way, we have it.
And I get peak chiropractic texts whenever they have an event. I get a peak chiropractic text. Hey, we're having Santa Claus, we're having this, you know, so can we learn something from them?
Yes.
We, the chamber's website, you know, we've got the new website, I'm still learning. But we have the ability to do texting, newsletters, you know, social media. I just haven't learned how to do it yet, but the ability is there. It's very, very strong. So,
Yeah, I think it would be really great to partner with EDC on even something like that. You know, if you don't have the time, maybe somebody here on this board does, commission does, or whatever. But I'm just thinking that it could be a really great
We need
tool.
to, I tried to do a little bit of communication coordination a couple months ago. Patty and I were the only ones who showed up at the meeting. So.
Oh, well, and I know,
We communicated real well.
well, and I know that the website is really brand new too.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
but I think we need to get the interested parties in the same room and figure out. When the chamber does something, how is it gonna be done? When the city does something, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And get it coordinated so it's a template for the same information. So people can feel comfortable that it's not spam.
Yeah, yeah.
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 So, okay.
Got down a few ideas here. Go to next.
Yeah, they do.
And Mr. Chairman, Chairman Lawson, if I remember at our last meeting, we discussed having some of the businesses, the new businesses listed on the, is it advertising board of the highway? Is it 20 seats, right? Is there any
Yeah.
update on that?
I know, Chris had actually looked into it, a while back. I think what we were running up against was, there was no highway signage spots available for the specific type of businesses. It was only for attractions, and restaurants, I believe. And
What's been in the past.
yeah, and certain, I think maybe Amy mentioned this. Certain businesses didn't fall into that category, so they weren't granted. Or weren't approved to be added to the highway sign, so. I think we talked about, you know, what we as a group could do. Just stomp on down to Salem and try to get some ODOT, recognition.
If I could interrupt.
Yes,
And
of course.
the WCBA, Dave Perullo, his predecessor really worked hard to get Abbey Creek on that sign. And so he, and of course now he's really involved and he will help.
Okay.
We just need to ask,
Mhm.
Okay,
and he has those connections. So I'm happy to,
I thought I took down his name, but it doesn't look like I did. What was his name?
Perullo, PERULO, I believe.
Okay,
But all we have to do is ask him.
perfect, thank you.
Can I circle back real briefly to the app?
Yeah.
So I just downloaded it. I looked for it and I downloaded the app. And I'm looking through it and there is, I was just looking for us, of course, but we're not even on here. Like Black Rock Coffee is on there, Melly's, all of that, but we're not anywhere on here under dining or retail or anything. How do we work on getting us on there?
That's a great question, Amy. What I can say is that nobody at the city is putting effort into anything being updated on this app. My guess is that what you're seeing is information feeding in from Google Maps or some other source of data. And I'll look and see where it's getting that info, but I don't think anybody at this point even has the password to get in and edit it. I mean, honestly, it was really all just Andy's baby. And I can tell you, our Rob Drake did not, I don't think Rob Drake even knew about this while he was here. So, I would be more than happy to make sure that we have accurate information on there. It hasn't been something that's come up quite yet, but my guess is that that information that you just listed is coming, it's feeding off of some other source.
Yeah, okay. It might because Blackwater Coffee is already on there and they're not even open yet.
Yeah, I would be shocked if anybody is actually logging into the app and making any kind of edits at all. So, but I can but I will look into
Yeah,
that.
there's errors. URL requested, is not found.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so,
That's
okay,
It's the Google Maps, because when you click on learn more, it just takes you to the Google Map location.
oh, maybe that's what.
So I think it's just pulling from,
So. Yeah, so Gabe might have gotten a coffee shop. Oh, no, that was Cameron. She's been doing social media. I bet Cameron got him on Google Maps.
okay,
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, perfect. Alrighty, anything else then in terms of how this group can kind of help with partnering with other groups, other committees, other boards, or how we can grease the skids in terms of getting businesses to help each other out, things like that.
I did connect you, Bill, with someone who has a background in customer rewards, who is interested in developing something for the city.
Yes.
If we wanted to have
That's
some sort of enabler.
Mhm.
calendar.
I met with him.
You did?
I had a Zoom with him. And we discussed this. I haven't touched base with him lately, but he said, it sounded like this was definitely something he would be moonlighting to work on.
Yes.
But he was going to kind of get, explore development of it. I just haven't, yeah, I think he's been busy and he hasn't touched base. It sounded like he has some really big clients for his day job.
Right.
So I think he's been busy, but we talked about it. And kind of based on his experience doing rewards programs. With some of his bigger clients at his day job. Something could be done. In his view, it shouldn't be difficult to do. I said that, well, I think it would behoove you to, when you look into it, let me know, because I think if you end up doing this for real in a way that's substantial with your time, then you would want to see about how to scale it up and be able to do it for other cities, because if the city is selling water to its residents, then it should roughly work the same way, sort of thing. So I just haven't heard anything from it.
So would that be, the intent behind that would be like a city, would the customer reward system be like per business or like citywide?
The thought would be, the thought would be is that it would probably function like the old buy local club we had during COVID.
Mhm.
And that was a very 20th century technology program whereby it was technically citywide, but we had fewer restaurants and places to shop back then than we do now. But basically, businesses who wanted to participate would keep little, like when you used to go to a coffee shop or cafe, there would have like the little index card with your account and you stamp it.
Yeah.
To go in for a latte or something. But anyway, the businesses who participated had a little filing thing with those cards in it, and you as a resident went in, started your account with them with your water account number, so we knew you were a resident water account customer. And then the business would keep track of what you spent at that restaurant or coffee shop or whatever.
Mhm.
And then at the end of every month, I would go around to all the businesses, get all these cards and add up all the spending in Excel. And then we would, based on how much they spent, there was a threshold of spending where you began to get a percentage of your spending at these local businesses
Mhm.
as a credit against your water bill. So it was a loyalty program that strongly encouraged shopping at local businesses, with the incentive being, we'll knock off of some of your water bill to, as a reward for spending locally,
Right, okay,
you know.
I like that idea. Good find, Jacqueline.
He asked for a resource.
Just-
Yeah.
I'm just.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, we're in the world of QR codes and that sounds better than, that sounds better than index cards and Excel.
That's kind of like where my head goes is whether it's on the app or
Mhm.
somehow, if you sign up as a resident to be part of this program, you have a unique identifier that's like scannable so that Bill doesn't have
What?
to.
Basically, it would be a QR code. So that's the issue. I'll actually now, Jacqueline, now that we're thinking about it. The big issue, the contact you gave me about a digital app driven, by local club type of thing was the big question he needed to figure out was, does the QR code system need to be point of sale business based? Where the customer scanned the QR code and then the app calculated the transaction and it's, you know, what it does? Or did the QR code need to be an app with the resident's water account or whatever information that the restaurant would scan? Like what was the what was more feasible? What was the source of this? Well, who was scanning and who was providing the QR code?
Yeah.
That was needed to be explored. That was the big question. So hopefully he's had time to explore that, but that was the big question.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right, anything on that topic? Right. Okay. Last time I'm here, I kind of wanted to roll a few things into your reflection and review, as well as, we can start to discuss our quarterly report to, city council. We submitted our Q3 report to council, about a month ago, roughly, in November. I think it went well in terms of, it's good to stay connected with the council, let them know what we're working on, what our priorities are. It seemed to be, brief but good discussion just in terms of, our focus and what we, should continue focusing on going forward. So I kind of wanted to just plant that seed in terms of, in January, we'll probably have a bit more of a working session, drafting up some of our Q4 accomplishments and progress we've made there. Anything on the quarterly report before we jump to kind of more of a end of year reflection and review?
I appreciated the quarterly report. I think the council did as well. I liked having that summary of, what you accomplished throughout the year and what other type, what work you're looking at, things that you are doing. It's not always, I know, convenient for you all to come to our meetings, right? And of course, you only have one of us at your meetings, and it rotates and that sort of thing. So it's great to have that summary. The Parks Board provided a summary to the council on Monday, which they essentially are following your lead. So well done, well done. So we're moving in a positive direction there. There's some positives there. So I appreciate that. And I think that having that is going to be extremely important moving forward, especially with a new council coming on. You have a majority of new councilors coming on, who have not been as engaged as the current council. Some of your reporting might be redundant. And I might suggest that it be a little redundant, just so that they know what you have done and what you are doing. to help them, like, bring them up to speed as well.
So that brings up a good point. I'm wondering then, in our initial report to the new council would potentially be more like an annual review. Kind of grow our scale of what we're reviewing with them, like what we've been working on. So maybe we do a bit more reflection on 2024, compile what we've worked on, if possible, throughout the year, and review that with council to kind of get them up to speed with what we've been working on, rather than just a snapshot of Q4 of this year. Additionally, selfishly, I don't think we've accomplished quite as much Q4 as we did in Q3 and up until that point, so it'll look a lot more.
Yeah, and they're gonna be drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
Right? And just trying to get to, they don't know you, and they're gonna wanna try to figure out how to get to know you and who you are and what you're all about and what this body is all about, right?
They'll
So the
find out
learning
pretty-
curve is gonna be really super
Yeah,
high.
Yeah.
So would
So,
we like would you include the charter or the group and just orient to the purpose?
yeah,
yeah, I would think that I think I'd go back to that, like, this, just give them a little historical perspective.
yeah.
I think that would be extremely important to be able to put that on the table so that they understand why this group was formed. The purpose of the group, what your intentions are, what your goals are. Give them a rundown of, yeah, and like what you've done from inception to now, high level.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be important to have some historical elements to delivering a product to them in Q1, so that they understand, have a better understanding. Because, you know, they might have different opinions, right, about economic development, and the goal is to try to get on the same page.
So if I were them, I'd be really curious about, like, when you say get to know us, literally who is represented here.
Mhm.
So that they understand the perspectives and biases that might be coming to them.
Yeah, and Eric, you know, when you present to the council, it might even, if the rest of the EDC or any of the EDC members, if they could just come and support you at that meeting and introduce yourselves to them, I think that would be really helpful and supportive for you as well. But I think it would be really helpful for them to be able to put names and faces.
Mhm.
That's my personal opinion, but
Yeah.
that's in my suggestion,
Could I tag on to that suggestion?
please.
I think what I would suggest is basically what the mayor stated, but maybe when you give when you do your quarterly report and there is some introduction, let's maybe treat it as kind of like being the beginning or the conclusion of your report is sort of like a request or a request to have kind of like an introductory work session with you all. And then whether it's a half hour or an hour, you know, you all together can, you know, we have these subcommittees and these are the things that this is the charge and these are the things, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it is going to be city 101 for our new council and that doesn't need to come before giving a report. You're fulfilling your rules by giving a report first, but I think that report could be, you know, it would be great to jointly meet and just kind of talk a bit more about what we do, sort of thing.
That sounds good. I like that idea.
And then we can get that scheduled.
Anyone within the group disagree, have additional ideas for that? I think that's a good idea, and using that as a gateway to get a working session on the book. We got a thumbs up from Chris Barron on the line.
As he sits in his car.
Just hanging out in my car, giving the thumbs up emoji when I can.
We'll take anything we can get.
Seriously. so. Got 12 hours on that parking pass.
Yeah.
Getting the most use out of this parking pass today.
A boy.
Okay, last item, kind of into your reflection and review, I'm gonna put everyone on the spot here. Okay, as we go into the end of 2024. I'd like everyone to kind of give essentially their highs and lows, just one item each. It can be specific to the commission and the work we did or somewhat adjacent, just within volunteer work that we've done within the city. And the low can even just be something that you see as a opportunity for improvement or something you want to focus on and tackle going forward into 25. And because I'm putting you all on the spot, I'll take any volunteers to go first. Virtual or in person. Jacqueline would like to go first.
Just because someone's gonna steal anything
Uh-huh.
I say, and it's gonna get harder, so I'll go forward, even though I haven't got a well-formed thought.
Early bird gets it.
Early bird gets it, I, rose and a thorn, is that what is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could,
Is that
we
what
could
we're
market
doing?
it anyway. we want.
Anyway, we want.
Yeah.
Okay, in 2024, we expanded our participants.
Mhm.
And I really think David and Amy, your additional representation is really welcome and appreciated. So, that's my, rose.
It's a beautiful road.
And, thorn, that's not a good word. One thing we'd look to improve is that.
Yeah.
Um,
Opportunity.
opportunity. Cindy, you're sitting here. I don't know that we've quite hit our full jam with the Chamber of Commerce. I think there's still opportunity to partner more there. I don't know what that looks like. I don't have an idea, but I feel like
I agree with that.
that we still have opportunity.
Mike, we'll just go down the line here.
Okay.
You're all right with that?
Yeah, I guess the high point was, I think it was a city council meeting I attended where I put Amy on the spot to join the UEC. That was fun.
That was so much fun.
There might be someone else's thorns.
Just seeing everyone in the council and just getting to know, everyone that I did, and I guess the opportunity would be. Kind of along what Amy's wanting to do, really help improve the visibility of our small businesses. Whatever program we're gonna do, whether it's a survey or something like the water program we were talking about, but I'd like to really help them thrive. I feel bad sometimes when I drive by and I don't see many cars or many people in the businesses, and I'd love to have them have plenty of traffic all the time.
Can I
Okay,
go
we'll
next?
go. Yeah, of course.
Same thing. I'll jump in. I'm parked for a minute. So I will go. I think one of the great accomplishments this year is that we formed our subcommittees and set our goals. And I think that has been really big to help us have concrete things we're working for and to track them. And so that's the highlight of the year. And I think an opportunity is to see this business survey through and then starting those in-person meet and greets with some of our businesses locally.
You, Lisa. David, we'll go. Oh, Chris raised a hand. I don't know. We'll go to Chris.
I raised my hand. So I think the highs is one, this group is always just fun to get together. I know that's not really the high of the work that we've done, but that's part of it. I think becoming a commission, let's not look past that work that was done this year as far as looking through And then proposing that to city council. And then also, I think taking the leadership on proposing things like term limits and really thinking, future thinking, as far as like how we as a committee can lead the city, even just at a committee level or now commission level. My big thorn, UGB. The fact that the UGB got voted down. I think that's an opportunity for, as we think about economic development in the city of North Plains, that's something that as we continue to fight that fight, I think the EDC needs to be more involved in kind of spreading the messaging, getting folks involved, getting people to the table, having conversations. I really hope, pray, and sacrifice a goat in my backyard that the next UGB vote or expansion proposal moves forward. So let's take a active role in that moving forward.
Let's start looking for goats on Craigslist.
And I would like to give a thumbs up to the committee for the high level of commitment. I think since I joined the group about roughly about a year ago, I hardly noticed any absentee at our meetings, serious commitment to meetings. And I believe with this kind of commitment, it's just a matter of time and will bring, lots of economic development to North Plains.
David? Then Amy.
Yeah, well, I would say the highs are watching the committee and even being a small part of that, or the commission, really want and have a strong piece of encouragement to try and get these businesses really, out there, and have a real heart in it to want to help support the businesses. So that's big, the fact that there is even a commission in the city that even wants to do that. This is something new to me that I never knew existed. So, that's the big point for me. I don't really know of a negative at all or a thorn, other than, just really wanting to see stuff come to fruition. But that's, I think, what we're all here for, right?
Yeah, I think that would be my item in terms of opportunity would be more so focused on actually like taking action on our ideas. We are all very intelligent folks here with the exclusion of the chair. And I think we can generate really good ideas. It's just a matter of actually taking action on those ideas, and trying to move the needle even just a little bit. I'll share kind of like a baseball. I love baseball, if anyone isn't aware. And so growing up, my favorite player was always Derek Jeter, shortstop for the Yankees. However, as I've grown older, I've come to really admire Cal Ripken Jr. when he was playing. If anyone remembers Cal Ripken Jr., does anyone know what he was most famous for? His record that he set?
The Iron Man.
The Iron Man. Yeah, he had the most consecutive games played. I just looked it up too while we were sitting here. 2,632 consecutive games played in MLB. And kind of back to David's point, I think like this group is committed to just showing up every day. And at least in my experience in my life, by and large, when I just show up, even if I'm not feeling great that day mentally, or if I'm just not ready to do something, if I just show up, by and large, good things happen. And you usually have your best days when you're expecting the worst and you feel the worst. So I mostly wanted, my rose is mostly commending this group for just showing up every day that we get together here, being able to talk about some of the issues that we're seeing in our community, ways that we can help. And then, like I said, trying to actually action that help and try to move the needle, even if it's just a small portion of what we're trying to achieve. Just forward progress, I think, is always what we're aiming for. So just keep being Cal Ripken Jr., I guess is. We're gonna keep going down the line. Mr. Bill, don't think you got yourself out of this exercise here.
Okay. Let's see. Boy, putting me on the spot, I wasn't really.
You thought I was just gonna go right by
Yeah, I did. I guess, I'll stay within the context of what you want. Is what I would say. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, I'm echoing a little bit of what Lisa said, but I'm really pleased with the fact that you all, immediately took to doing, well, you came up with your rules, and you jumped into having subcommittees, and you put energy in your groups into different issues, and and you're continuing to do that. So I think that's wonderful. And we're gonna get to the point where you've built on planning, and you've built on implementing, and you see those successes come along with things you've wanted to see happen. So I think that's a matter of time, and being Cal Ripken Jr. and showing up and keeping the ball moving. Thorn, besides what Chris Barron said, I guess what I would say is not so much a thorn, but I want to put this on your radar. The Urban Renewal Agency sunsets in 2027. If we don't extend it and do a substantial amendment to extend it. And the council that's outgoing has had a chock full agenda of business for a while. It's impossible to do everything that you want or need to do. But I think that if you all were to take up something and work with motivating this new council and volunteering to be a part of, in my view, it would be a huge miss to not start soon, because there's really only one consultant in the state that does this stuff, and we've got to get her on our schedule, and there's feasibility work, and then there's the big effort of doing it. But if we want to expand upon downtown business stuff and Glencoe corridor business stuff, and making sure we get the grocery store site and we explore other things, the Urban Renewal Agency is what does that. And it would be a shame to let that go. So not a thorn, but let's not have it become a thorn next year when I'm asked the question. So.
Thank you, Bill. Lori, do you?
Oh, really?
Okay.
I get to participate
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, we're going everyone in the room.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's no secret, this is my favorite
I was-
meeting to
I
attend.
was hoping you'd say that.
Yep, it absolutely is, because you guys are always engaging and you're excited and you actually follow through and get things done. And you say you're gonna do something, you get it done. That's not against council, I said boards and commissions.
No, I know.
It's
It's not apples and oranges.
It is not,
Apples
it
and
is not,
oranges.
this is,
Yeah, no, I
so
get
it, I've always said this was my
I get
favorite.
it.
Bill told me, you don't have to attend all the meetings. He says, you can give up the EDC. I said, no, I'll give up any other, the EDC. It is my favorite, so that's no secret. For the thorn part of it, I kind of wish I'd see more people here. I don't think very many people know about this commission, let alone know what it does.
Or how much fun it is.
Or how much fun it is, I know, right? I think Amy had fun the first time she came and presented when she was applying for her grant. I think she realized how much fun it was. I just would like to see more community involvement in the meetings, because I think there's a lot of people out there that probably have some really good ideas for you guys. So.
It's a great thing. Mayor, honorable mayor.
Yeah, I wrote down several things. Thank you for asking too. I think the friendships, that was the positive. That was the first thing that really came to my mind. Is just to see how this group here really, there's a connection between all of you. There's like I feel like there's kindred spirits in this room. I think there's opportunity for this group to really stand out in the community. And I just really felt like, you know, the highlights for this group was like, you said you were gonna do this and you did it. Like, you know, you put forth some ideas, some goals, and you accomplished them, right? And I love that about this group. And I also like that it's friendly. I mean, I agree with Laura. I mean, it's not stuffy, but it's also friendly. It's friendly, but you also, you get things done, right? Within the bounds, within the lanes that you have, but you're also thinking outside of the box, which is extremely important in this community. Bill took one of mine. I don't see thorns, I see opportunities. And so the opportunity was the URA. Knowing that is coming down the pipe to sunset. And that was one thing that you're losing a lot of folks on the council who know what that is, and you're gaining folks that do not know what that is. So if I could really encourage you to understand what the URA is and really help educate yourself and help the council, like be a voice to bringing that information and that education to the table. I think educating the community about the Urban Renewal Agency is really important, but also breaking the myths about the goals, about growth, right? And I think that this body needs to be more vocal about that in various meetings, even if it is, if you know, come to a city council meeting, look at the agenda, testify, give public comment, email, right? Whatever it takes. I need you to lead.
Thank you. Cindy, do you want to in the four walls?
Okay, well, I agree with both Laura and Terry, coming to the meetings. I don't mind coming here. I don't feel like darts are gonna get thrown. And I'm very pleased to see what you've done in the last year. The EDC has been in place for how long, Bill? I don't remember.
2018.
Yeah, okay, and I see some progress, and as, you know, as was said, I think you've come together and you're working well together. One of the things that I see on my side is that I think the chamber needs to be a presence here every meeting, because it's important to our businesses. Plus, our businesses need to know about you and what you are doing. Very clear and very detailed. We have a lot of very smart, successful people in this town. They're very busy, but if we focus on telling them what we need from them, they'll be here. They will show up, and that's the big key. So that's kind of the, I'll say, thorn that, you know, we need to work together a little bit better and educate each other, boards and groups.
Thank you. Okay, anyone change their minds on any of their? There's still time.
Planting trees was very nice.
Yes, we also planted some trees.
Yeah, you guys and your outreach to community, and Michael, I'm not sure what involvement your group was to clean up by the murals, but thank you. I just heard about it after the fact and didn't know it wasn't with EDC, right?
Nope, it was me.
It was you? Well, thank you guys, and thank you for planting your trees, and I wish every city commission or board would choose to do that once or twice a year, and a community type program. Lisa is always good with coming up with,
So good at it.
with
Thank you, Lisa.
someone that needs something done, and I wish there was someone on the other boards that would take the lead on that. I'm gonna work on it, because I would like to see it from each board and commission. So,
Right. Bill, anything, official business wise?
Official business wise, yes, so. December 12th, Thursday, we will have the urban growth boundary relook community meeting. It will be here. And we will have tables set up with different folks at each table to answer questions, talk through things, and then participants online and here get to take the acreage information and kind of come up with their own maps. So it will be very hands-on, and we hope everybody, including the relook advisory committee itself comes. And then the other thing I would say more immediately would be December 18th, 5:30 PM, ribbon cutting for the new Public Works building on West Union Road. And then immediately after at 6 PM, everyone's invited. We will have a celebration of the public service of outgoing city councilors. So don't miss it. It's gonna be a big shindig.
All of that, the ribbon cutting, obviously, and then as well, the reception afterwards is at the new.
Public.
and we'll let you inside.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Well, Michael emailed me today and said, is this all outside? I said, no, we'll let you inside, so I feel like I should tell it
The
every 18.
first part will be outside, but then.
But yeah, the
rest
ribbon
of it's
cutting's
inside.
outside, but everything else is inside.
These bathrooms or fountains.
Yeah, right.
Yes. There's even showers, but don't use them.
Oh, well, someone's got a christen.
Yes.
Anyways, and then the actual relook committee meeting for December
19th.
is the 19th,
Is it
so.
19th?
Okay.
That's correct.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did the 19th is the relook committee itself,
Okay, I didn't know what that date was. All right.
right? Yeah, Thursday the 19th. Anything else business wise for December? I mean, meetings, date, time.
Those are the three biggies. That's,
Pick up on something, Troy, that you said, and maybe ask that we formalize our city report out to project what is coming on city council. I'll tell you, I'm happy when I get here. And whether it's a good day or a bad, like I just try to get here. I don't keep track of what's going on at city council, but if I knew that there was, I mean, that's probably true of other people here. If we knew there was a topic that was in like URA or something else that we needed to prepare for, I'm just gonna say, I don't serve that agenda to be thinking about where we should insert ourselves. Either individually or collectively as a group. So is there some way you can help us follow through on Terry's ask to us to show up as leaders and advocates and educators by connecting their agenda items to things that are relevant to this committee?
I could add them to the listserv, but then they're gonna get the whole agenda packet for every meeting.
So it's just something to think of. You don't have to
Yeah.
respond on the
Yeah,
spot,
yeah.
but instead of going off the cuff, Bill, which I appreciate every time, but I'm trying to get us a little more on the top. Like,
I hear,
I could do,
yeah.
otherwise I won't look,
No, I hear.
honest.
There's a way, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And just a super high level council reflection. We had, we knew we were having a busy December. The council actually approved a resolution to create a new admin position the admin assistant specialist position. Hopefully they'll find a new person to fill that spot to help out with, admin stuff. We need more people at City Hall. The city council also adopted new council rules. Something that we've actually kind of been working on for a while, but we've had so many plates and the juggling in the air, we finally approved the council rules. We attempted to talk about, we talked about a park maintenance cost, adding a fee to the water bill. But that's going to have to be something that the new council will have to have a conversation about. And we approved a supplemental budget. And then we also identified 3 new members for the budget committee, which will start next year because our biennium budget ends June 2025. So the first 6 months are going to be pretty busy for staff, budget wise, but we have Larry Gonzalez, David Hatcher, and Tom Murdoch adding to the budget committee. So, yeah.
And then, do you mind, I'm not sure I'm fully up to date on, Counselor Smith had resigned. And
Yeah.
What's the process for filling that?
Yeah, so we followed our process as far as our city charter is concerned. We're taking applications for, opened it up for 2 weeks. We'll take applications through December 13th.
Okay.
And then the city council will decide on December 16th to fill his spot.
Okay.
I do not get to vote unless there's a tie.
Okay.
So on December 16th, we'll identify that person to fill Ricky's term, which is 2 more years.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 more years.
thank you.
Yeah.
Any
Just a
other
few things going on.
questions on the line? David, Chris, Lisa, Amy? Eric?
Thumbs up in the darkness of the car.
I thought maybe you were napping in there.
No, I'm a Bond villain right now. I just come out of the shadows when I need to say something serious.
That's kind of scary looking, actually.
It's very downtown Portland. isn't it?
All right,
I'm actually no
well,
longer downtown Portland. I have a Christmas party tonight and I'm now parked in front of their house.
Jeez. Oh, my goodness.
just
I'm ready.
Always on.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a great holiday. If we don't speak before then, be safe, stay warm. And we will pick it back up next year.
We better see
Yeah.
everybody on the 18th.